On June 16, 1944, in the small mill town of Alcolu, a 14-year-old boy sat alone in a jail cell. His feet did not touch the floor when he sat on the bench. His name was George Stinney Jr., and by nightfall, he would become the youngest person executed in the United States in the 20th century. George was accused of murdering two white girls, Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames. Their bodies had been found in a ditch earlier that year. Within hours, suspicion fell on George and his older brother, who had been seen talking to the girls earlier in the day. There was no physical evidence tying George to the crime, no fingerprints, no witnesses, only a confession that officers claimed he gave after hours of interrogation, without a lawyer and without his parents present. His trial began on April 24, 1944. It lasted less than a day. An all-white jury deliberated for about 10 minutes before returning a guilty verdict. George's court-appointed attorney called no witnesses in his defense and offered little challenge to the prosecution's case. In a segregated South shaped by Jim Crow laws, the outcome seemed decided before the trial even began. George was sentenced to death in the electric chair. In the weeks before his execution, his family had already fled Alcolu after receiving threats. George sat alone in a Columbia jail, too young to fully understand the machinery of the system that had sealed his fate. On the day of his execution at the South Carolina State Penitentiary, guards reportedly had difficulty strapping him into the electric chair because of his small size. They had to place a Bible on the seat so the headpiece would fit. At 7:30 p.m., the switch was pulled. 70 years later, in 2014, a South Carolina judge vacated George Stinney Jr.'s conviction. The court ruled that he had not received a fair trial and that his constitutional rights had been violated. The judge stopped short of declaring him innocent, but acknowledged the profound injustice of the process that led to his death. His story remains one of the most haunting examples of wrongful conviction in American history, a reminder of how fear, prejudice, and silence can converge to take a life. George Stinney Jr. was 14 years old, and he never had a real chance to defend himself.